Hello everybody, my name is Michael K and welcome to a Replica Airguns tabletop review of the Gletcher M1891, and this is the Sawn Mosin Nagant rifle. This is the CO2 4.5mm steel BB gun, and this is the official tabletop review. Alright, this gun is distributed by Gletcher, and that's a European company. It's also brought into Canada and the US through SMG Inc. At the time of this video, we do not sell it in Canada or the US Replica Airgun stores, but I thought I'd bring this gun to you, show it to you. It's very cool. We'll see if we can get it at some point. Again, Gletcher products are new to Canada and the US, so we'll see if my importer can get it and if we can bring it to you. Now, a little bit about Gletcher. They're kind of like Cybergun or ASG. They're a company that distributes products. I'm not sure if they actually make any of their own products in their own warehouses, but like a lot of other companies like Cybergun, ASG, Umrex even, they will outsource many of their products to other companies who build the guns, and then they'll brand them with their own branding and whatnot. So I did notice that on the Gletcher website, there was a lot of similar products that I could pretty much tell were probably made by KWC, rebranded for Gletcher. That's a very common practice, not just with air guns and airsoft guns, but a lot of companies outsource their products. Hopefully we'll be able to bring some of the Gletcher products into our North American stores here, now that they're being redistributed through SMG Inc. here in Canada and the US. Or if you haven't already figured it out, it's a replica of the Russian-made 3-line Mosin Nagant rifle model 1891, which was adopted by the Russian military back in 1891. A little bit of history there for you. Let's get into some of the specifications. The Gletcher M1891 is a 4.5mm steel BB rifle. It uses standard 12-gram CO2 cartridges, just one of them. It shoots acclaimed 394 FPS or 120 meters per second. The magazine holds 16 BBs. And is a full-size drop-out metal magazine that holds the CO2 and the BBs, and by the way, I was able to get 17 rounds in it. This gun uses a bolt action, shoots in single shot, and has a single action trigger. It's 22 inches long, or 56 centimeters long, and 5.7 pounds, or 2.6 kilograms. Now it has an all-metal construction with an imitation wood stock. I couldn't determine exactly who makes it or where it's made because I couldn't find any made in writing on the box or on the gun. So I really don't know. Could be Taiwan, could be China, could be anywhere. I'll quickly show you the box. Okay, it's got this aged look. That's not just a worn out box. That's the way the box comes. Sort of has that antique look to it. By the way, the company has an 18-month warranty. Okay. Back's pretty much the same thing. I want to show you something inside here as I move the gun around. But on the lid of that box, if we can get in there, there we are, you can see there's actually a parts diagram. So you won't lose it, and it's right there nice and big for you if you want to check out the parts or if you need to do anything to it that requires parts assembly. Of course, inside the box, it came with a manual. Okay, it's in a few different languages. Specifications, again, some parts here, show you how to. Now the sights were installed on it. I noticed it has the sights off here, but they were installed on mine. You can see that the sights there do come off. Shows you how to put the magazine in, how to work the gun, how to aim the gun, okay, things you shouldn't do, stuff like that. Alright, put that aside for now. Let's take a quick walk around this gun. I'm sure you all want to see it, so we'll take a look around. Sure, this bolt assembly, just gorgeous. Nice weight. I mean, this gun feels great in the hand, and everything just works really nice. I do have CO2 in this gun, so I will take the magazine out right now. I just don't want to shoot any CO2 around, just in case. Now, there aren't any BBs in it, but let's take a look at the magazine right now since it's out. Okay, so there is CO2, and I shot a few magazines worth just to test it out. And so there's your CO2. There's your BB follower. Standard BB follower. So you pull that down and then you drop the BBs in the top. They just go down the BB follower, and again I was able to put 17 BBs in there. Now the CO2 has an Allen key, but conveniently it's stored right in here. Very cool. Okay, so you can pop that in and out. It's right there ready to go. Now when the bolt comes forward, this piece, see if we can get this focus for you, this piece pushes the BB right into the chamber sealing everything up. So bolt comes back, goes forward, pushes a BB right into the cylinder or into the chamber, the breech of the gun, and it's ready to shoot. Very efficient. You're not going to lose as much CO2 having it go and escaping down here. So a very efficient way to use, you know, the CO2 and to get the most power and CO2 usage. Not exactly sure how many shots I'm going to get. So far I just shot 2 magazines with this cartridge. I wanted to come in and make this video. I didn't want to do a full field test review for you yet, but I wanted to give you some feedback on how it's shot. Enough of the magazine. You can see in here we got the full open area there, magwell. Okay, now since there's no CO2 or anything in it, magazine's out. Really nice action. Feels great. Nice and heavy bolt. And when it's back, you can put it on safe. This has to be here. When the magazine is in, it's firmer, so you don't have to worry about that. So that's safe. No pulling the trigger. Now you're ready to fire. Okay, let's take a look at this. Right. By the way, this is your magazine release. Just push it sort of in and back a bit. Nice single action trigger, give you an idea of the action. So very little take up. And there you go, there's your really single action trigger. Here's your sights. And you can adjust them. Okay. Just for elevation. Now I did notice they do wiggle a little bit back and forth here because the pin is so far up front. Bit of slop. Here's your front sight. Now these sights do come off. Just a post sight in the front. Nice open barrel, way down there. Hard to tell, but it's way down. Looks like a nice large caliber. Don't really know exactly what the caliber would have been of this rifle. I'd have to look into that. But very cool. Now again, the stock is wood. Perhaps the real version of the gun stock would fit on it, because this is a very close replica. Now the real gun obviously would have a full stock and a full long barrel and a full, actually what happens is there's like another stock piece that goes forward here with an elongated barrel, so it would be a much longer. It would be neat though to maybe actually get a real wood stock and have the shoulder stock with the short barrel. That would be kind of a neat configuration in real wood. I wonder if that's possible. I don't know. The metal is really nice. The finish is quite nice. There's standard powder coating. The bottom of the receiver here is more like almost like a metallic look, while the top seems to be, to me, a little more glossy. Okay. And I did notice that there was some wear when I got it. I think this part was just rubbing back and forth in the box. It's the only part. Powder coating tends to do that. It's a really nice looking finish, but it does wear fairly easily because it's not thick. So, you know, you might want to touch it up with a little matching felt or something like that every once in a while on some of the high spots like that where it comes off. Not a big deal. You could also give this gun that aged look if you wanted to. A little bit of sandpaper or magic eraser on it or something would make it look pretty cool. Alright, let's quickly look at my target here. This one here, pop that down. Just want to go over this. I did a quick pre-test and I will be showing you that video really quickly, but I'm just going to talk you into it first. These first three, 1, 2, 3, I had this set up a little high, so I dropped it down. The rest of them were basically in here and one stray over there. So 1, 2, 3, or I think this was part of this group here. These were the first group, these were the second group, and don't know exactly how many shots it was. This was the main group here, roughly 2 inches. Now, I did go and load up another magazine, and I got this group, which was right here, all right in here, about a 1.75 inch group, just a little bit, a tiny bit low, a little bit to the left. Not too bad at all. Chronograph wise, I got about 430 feet per second, so not too bad. So I'm going to take you to that video right now, to that actual pre-test shooting test where I do a little quick chronograph for you and a quick field test where I shoot the gun. Alright everybody, I'm all set up. I'm on my deck here. We're going to do this pre-test. I've got my Gletcher M1891, all loaded up with some CO2, fresh CO2, and fresh BBs, 5.1 grain, stainless, well, steel BBs with the zinc coating. And we're gonna put a few rounds through the chronograph. I'm not sure how many. We'll just shoot a few and see how it does. Go from there, and then I would probably pop about 10 rounds, or at least 5 or 10 rounds into the target. This is just a pre-test. Never shot this gun. Really excited to shoot it. I love guns that have an action like this, bolt action, lever action. It takes a little more work for each shot, but it's almost more gratifying. So let's get started. So here we go. First shot, everything should be ready to go. Now, we might have to throw this first shot out because it's going to be either hot or kind of slow, depending on how the CO2 and everything's working. So let's do the first shot. 444.6. Now this gun has a claimed 120 meters per second, or roughly just under 400. So let's see if we get similar results with the second shot. Not anything there. Again, try it again. Error. We'll just reset that. My chronograph is always giving me a little grief these days. Doesn't really like the steel BBs so much. There we go, 433. Error. Try it again. Okay, we'll go with that. 430. So we're getting up in the 430s consistently. Not bad at all. We're now going to head back. The trigger's nice. Single action trigger because you got to work the bolt. And that bolt loads a BB in there. So all you're doing is releasing the trigger. Now, I'm going to I'm not sure how I'm going to hold this. It's different. I'm not sure if I have to adjust this up or down. We'll just do the best I can. I almost want to come in here, but then I get too much distance. So it's kind of weird. I'm going to hold it as if I were holding it normally, but this could be a little bit weird. Did I not? Yeah, we're ready to go. Okay, just finding it strange to hold it. Did I not rack it? Potentially not. It always helps if you work the bolt. There we go. 1. Two. I want to just go see where we're at real quick. See if I need to make any adjustments. So a little left, a little high. Now, all I can do at this point is, yeah, we can work this one back. That's going to bring it down just a hair, but that's about it. I can't really make it come over too much. If I bring this over this way, it's going to shoot that way. So all I can do is kind of give it a little pressure that way and see if we can bring her in a little bit. There's no real left to right windage adjustment. Okay, here we go. One. Two. Seems to be a little better now, at least height-wise. I'm just going to empty this gun. Let's just watch this. I feel a little shaky today, maybe a little too much coffee. Still got some rounds. By the way, I was able to put 17 rounds in here, even though I claimed a 16. That's it. Okay, let's take a quick look. All right, so sort of the grouping was right here. This was the first 3. I got it in the right zone here in terms of bringing this down. Now, this does move around a little bit, so you can see this does move around. So that is going to affect the left to right. So maybe if I were to bring this over, it would help it in terms of accuracy. Anyways, not too bad. This is a little sloppy here, so that could affect accuracy for sure in terms of how that moves around. But it was shooting nice horizontally, vertically, but horizontally a little bit to the left, but still not a bad grouping, just roughly around 2 inches you can see here, so not too bad. All right, let's head inside and finish up this tabletop review. All right, we're back. I hope you enjoyed that quick pre-test. I did want to say I really enjoy shooting these bolt action or lever action. Any gun with an action is just more gratifying. It's like each shot you just enjoy it more because you had to put more work into it. Kind of like shooting a single action revolver. You got to pre-cock that hammer with your thumb and then you get to shoot the round. It's not like you're just blasting away, even though that's a lot of fun too. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Semi-auto or full auto guns are a lot of fun. But there's something about just taking your time, working the action. It's just old school fun. So that was really fun shooting this gun that way. I enjoyed that. The bolt is nice and heavy, makes a nice sound. It's very firm, very solid. The way that the bolt comes forward, snaps forward, very heavy bolt. Feels good when you release the trigger. And the trigger pull is quite nice in single action. Alright, let's get into some of the pros and the cons. This gun is a very unique gun. One of the most interesting guns I've ever reviewed in terms of how it looks, how it operates. I love that it's a 4.5mm steel BB gun. That's kind of cool. A lot of these guns like this would be airsoft. This one's 4.5mm steel BB. I like that. Now if you want a piece of history that you can shoot in your backyard, this is kind of it. Kind of like shooting some of these replica Lugers or Makarovs or 1911s. Now the Gletcher M1891 is a mostly all-metal gun. It also has a nice heavy weight to it. It does have adjustable sights, at least for elevation. And again, it has that really nice single-action trigger. The bolt action is super smooth and has a very solid, weighty feeling to it. I like that it has a full-size drop-out metal magazine that holds both the BBs and the CO2, and of course the Allen key. Now when I did my pre-test, the Gletcher M1891 had a little bit more FPS in it than the claimed under 400, and it shot right up around 430 for me, pretty much with every shot. Now I would expect to get a lot of shots per CO2 just because of the way the BB is forced into the breech and sealed off from the magazine. Alright, a couple cons, not that many. The stock is plastic, but looks pretty decent. And hey, for you guys out there that like doing a little bit of modding, perhaps you could get a real wood stock for this gun and somehow fit it on. Now as mentioned before, there is no real windage adjustment on the rear sight, just elevation. Other than pushing it a little bit with your thumb to try and correct it before you shoot it, that's about all you can do because it does have that little bit of wiggle to it. Maybe there's a way to get it to be a little bit firmer and a way to adjust it somewhat. Now as with a lot of these guns that seem to have a powder coat finish, it will wear off in the high spots because the powder coat, although it looks great, it is generally fairly thin and will wear in the high spots. Alright, that wraps up this tabletop review for my Gletcher M1891 CO2 4.5mm BB rifle. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. Also come down to the Replica Airgun store where we sell airguns, BB guns, airsoft guns, blank guns, knives, and other accessories. Not this gun just yet, but perhaps, so keep checking. Maybe when you watch this video, if it's down the road, we will have it in our Replica Airgun store. So check the description of this video. If there is a link to our either Canada or US store or both, I will put it in the description of this video. Alright, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.